Hello and welcome to the third and final game between Dullahan over here on the right as the Orcs and Bikerushownz over here on the left as the Marines. Bikerushownz has gone back to what he did in the first game of having the Venerable Dreadnought rather than Solaria. Interesting choice. I'm not sure why, if that was exactly why he lost, but he clearly wants to go back to what worked. He wants to go back to having the more Dreadnought-focused style. Probably slightly tilted from making whirlwinds in that last game. I would assume we won't see any whirlwinds in this game. But everything is going to be starting off standardly in this final game of the 7th NA Weekly. Or the final game of the semi-finals of the 7th NA Weekly between Dullahan and Bikerushownz. I'm used to seeing Bikerushownz in the finals, but this isn't actually there yet. Barracks, once again, quite aggressively being put down at this bottom point. Both sides moving out, gathering points, all the standard stuff. Bit of a fight going on here with these Orcs, but these Orcs are just gonna run away. They're actually on the wrong side there, which is going to be pretty awkward. Well, those Gretchens did not want to engage there. I have to run away now. Gonna get a war up. Might actually push in with this war. But there are 3 Marines here. Shooters going into melee range, kind of weirdly for some reason. But once again, war and banner in this first engagement will be standard. A bit of sort of start step going on there from Bikerushownz. As much as you can start a step in this game, but once again the banner is going to get taken by the Orcs, and they're just going to hold off this position. Putting down this banner might even not be that useful. You might want to just straight up run, because you're not going to get anything from it. But it does look like he's going to push up to this side and maybe even harass. Knowing Bikerushownz, if he does go down here, he'll probably head down to this requisition point and try and just take out that. It's a much more sensible thing. You can actually take this out. Although it does put you in a bit of a dangerous position. He knows that the Orcs are on the top side of the map, so if he just pops that and then gets out, all will be fine. Bikerushownz has now taken 3 requisition points, which are probably going to be every requisition point he'll ever take in this game, knowing Bikerushownz. But the Orcs have taken his side point up here, which means that his power economy is going to be down for a bit, and some really big stick miner hits there is going to take out this this Marine squad. The Assault Marines will jump on the shooters at the back, but he's already lost all of the power in his tax. One tax had to run away. One tax is caught here in a really bad spot. The other tax running away as well. He is jumping his Assault Marines in the back, trying to hold the damage off, and that is lowering the damage he's going to take, but he still loses attack after this, and he's used a lot of the jumps on these, and they're here. They are going to get out. But the Orcs are just going to keep pushing, and there's no listening post down here, so there's actually nothing to stop them. Apart from Dullahan running away. That stops them quite effectively, honestly, and there is a elite point generator going up in the middle. Much harder to hold these points when they're in the middle of the map, but still, as the importance is more on the power points, you can take these points, and with the amount of army you can get early, they become much more valuable, especially when you've just won a decent fight like that to start off. Taking out a Marine squad. Bikerushownz has pushed this forward, actually getting another requisition generator. This looks like he's really going in on this early game. He just wants to win with a big army of tax. He's doesn't feel like he trusts the late game as much. His land speeder whirlwind thing didn't do as much as he wanted. Shield generator absolutely crumbling here. It's like striking scorpions. Look at that. It is actually going down quite a lot now, to be fair, but the Marines are just going to arrive and clear this up. Unfortunate slam there. You can see the upgrade for the flamethrower going down immediately, which is just going to absolutely roast these Orcs. And now they're stuck in the corner. Jump was even a bit wasted, in my opinion. The other Orcs actually going to follow up on this. The boys are hyping up, and the shooters are getting some early shots off. The Vortex Grenade is not going to do too much there. It's just going to slow these boys. but they are going to leave. Snipers en route. That's a very interesting call, and he cancels it immediately. Unless he did put them in the drop pods, but I'm not sure why you'd put scouts in a drop pod. Pushing up here with this big tack army. Gonna leave a servitor to do this work so that his marines can join the fight. And he's pushing up on this top side. Once again, Bikerush is ahead in the map control right now. But this Flamer is going to be doing a lot. Flamer model didn't actually get knocked back with that. The Assault Marines are pushing up, but the Orcs are retreating to their tower to get the war off. Oh yes, look at that. I can't wait for him to war with this tower. Although I can pretty much see this one as well. Boom. But Bikerush, noticing this, has just entirely backed off. Random point. I really do wish that the middle mouse button camera movement on this worked more like it does in on a browser. It works like that in 8-bit, the other game I cast a lot on this channel, and it's just so nice to just be able to, you know, look at this unit, just hold middle mouse button and just follow it forever. I could just, you know, keep just going exactly with it. Whereas with this, it's more jolty, and then I get to the end and I'm like, oh, can't go anymore. I'm stuck. That's just a personal gripe. I think that once they've done it one way, they're not going to do it the other way, so I'm just going to have to deal with it being like this, unfortunately. Although I would be a lot happier if I could hotkey it differently, so that I could put it on a side mouse button, so it wasn't quite as annoying. These Assault Marines going to jump out quite well. That is still a very good use of the Assault Leap, even though it doesn't do the damage it used to do. Just being able to have that instant jump to get in and out of fights can still be pretty useful. Servitor going to go around here and find that that is all taken. He's actually going to drop down there, which is interesting because there are some boys coming to chase this Servitor down. So this Assault Marine squad doesn't look like it will last super long, but he could probably Duke and Jive his way out of here, maybe. He does have the team at the bottom as well doing some damage down here, so this is acting as a distraction now for this. He's going to get hit by that second stick bomb after it looks like he dodged it first. He's actually just going to give up on taking that and just jump over here. He's just going to try and get out. Not sure how much this will work. Yeah, he's just going to get caught up and killed by boys. They found the Servitor as well. But on the other side of the map, he's just boltering away at this shield generator. And this is going to be very good for him. War Tower on the top is going to go. But that's just wiring up one set of boys. He does have Gorguts going down. And Gorguts will really be the thing that stops this push. Gorguts is really going to change this. And Gorguts is a lot better in this game than he would have been in the last game. Because we can see there are so many TAC Marines. A couple of Assault Marines are staying up as well. Caught out with Servitor there. He's going to get absolutely clobbered by the big boss. And his Orcs are going to push up on the other side, and it looks like he's going to try and take out this shield generator. Assault Marines actually sneaking around here. They're going to get found by some Gretchens, but Dullahan isn't going to back off to defeat them, so they're going to take out our requisition point. He's killed the Servitor that was defending that, so he can get some hits in. He's kept the rocket and the boys still on there. He's now moving up here with the rest of his army to try and catch these, which is a good start. And he has taken out a shield generator. His shield generator at the bottom is still alive. So Dullahan is getting the objective lead here. Another Assault Marine squad going to get caught down at the top here. And he's going to make some requisition points, but it is sort of crazy how little resource points Dullahan is actually working with here, whereas Bikerush has an absolute ton of them. Bikerush sitting here on 300 to the 14 power though, so that sort of shows why it's going. Hasn't got his tier 2 upgrade yet, although I assume that an Arsenal and a tier 2 upgrade will probably come down soon. Doctor and Chapel going down, so he's going to start getting his Devastators, which will be very good for this game. Another War going down from the Orcs. Did he have a pile of guns around here? I thought he had a pile of guns. There we go, he has a pile of guns. Getting a few upgrades. He's got 1 on health already. He's going for the first damage. We'll have to see which way he pushes. He's pushing to the left, which Bikerushownz is actually moving around this way as well, so I don't know if that's good or bad for Dullahan, if he wants to get a straight up fight or if he wants to sort of trade. But he's going to start losing this point up here if he does go down to the bottom, and he's not going to have this war totally up. These Devastators are actually going to spot them coming down, and now the Marines are just getting straight onto this war tower. This is going to go down, but how much more can they get once the Orcs out there? Drop pod coming down right on a huge amount of the Orcs, and that's going to actually be a huge stun. Banner going down in the top as well. Once again, there's a couple of squads of Rocket Boys down here who aren't going to be doing nothing at all, these tank busters. And they're just sitting in the flamethrower of the kill team, which is really bad. But the Looter's getting a ton of work done. Assault Marines just getting absolutely shredded. And Bikerushownz will be forced to back off with very little damage done. Just a war tower taken down. And some requisition being lost for the Orc player. Assault Marines gonna use all their jumps to get back to here and try and take out some power. Dullahan will have to come and deal with this, but he is also sending some tank busters down to check the middle of the map. Gorguts is just sort of doing his own thing. Not sure why he hasn't been with his horde, but you know, who am I to say what the boss should be doing? You know, more Devastators coming out, so. This seems to be what I would consider the more traditional Marine style of this patch, to just go with huge amount of tax, couple of Assault Marines, and then get a load of Devastators. He is now going for this Machine Cult, and the army will probably be mainly Dreadnought Devastator until he gets late enough. Excuse me? Gorguts? You alright? You alright, Gorguts? You okay? You okay? This seems to be a consistent thing with Dullahan. I don't really understand his use of the spin. He just sort of pops it at random, it seems. I don't know. I'll have to ask him about it sometime. Sure, he must have an explanation for some of these spins, but I cannot fathom them. So, I'm going to get another war from this other tower this time. I'd love to get both of these towers warring together, although obviously, I mean, why would you ever do that? But it would look great. So these Orcs are now just going to push off to the top left-hand side. Marines are in a decent position to defend, but Dullahan's going to be going up for this tower. Getting Gorguts up on the high ground. This is the time where you want to spin, and his spin is almost off cooldown, so he could get it here. As soon as it comes off cooldown, he wants to just stand here and spin while the rest of his army is just stomping this, but he's got stunned there. The tower will go down, and he's actually going to pick up the rock himself as well. Gorguts just running into the middle of the enemy team with the rock on. If he starts spinning now, he'll just be so hard to kill. Well, unless he gets knocked out of it immediately by Antonidas. But he's still got the rock right on the enemy forces. It's just sitting there, not being dragged out by anything. And now the whole Orc army is just up here, hitting this this point. All of what Bikerushownz had has just been annihilated, it seems. Big Rock going to come down there and finish the rest of this off. And you can just see how much damage these tank busters do to structures with them sitting like this, hitting that, because that is a ton of health. That little gap there that's gone, that's 2,000 health. That's crazy. And now he's back onto the shield generator, and there's just nothing Bikerushownz can do really. He dropped a Dreadnought down, but this is even bigger than the force last time. This is something that actually just sort of, this big army just came out of nowhere and just ran down Bikerushownz's front door, and he wasn't ready for it. Well played to both of our players, especially well played to Dullahan, who wins this game and does go into the finals. And all hail Orcs. Maybe Marines aren't that powerful, you know? Maybe. We'll have to see. The Orcs clearly making it work now. So happy to see them actually doing stuff after this patch. And hopefully the next patch will just be even more balanced.